Hello everyone and welcome back to another review for Mahoutsukai no Yome, episode 14. Man, I was speechless. I had to make a coffee, drink my coffee before I could focus on the review, because I will be honest, this is pretty much the saddest thing I saw. Yeah. In these 14 episodes of this show, and for the entirety of this year so far. Well, it's only been 14 days or something like this, but who cares? You get what I want to say. This was a really fucking sad episode. And remember when we had the cliffhanger last week with Chise turning into a fox and then she ran away? Well, this matter was solved real quickly. Chise, she returned home because Elias called out to her and said that he doesn't like the cold and the loneliness. So Chise got back to herself and she she returned back to her human body, but this is where the kinda lighthearted stuff ends and the real deal starts. So the hide that Chise got, the fox hide, basically it turns the Vera into a werebeast, and well, this hide will fulfill their wishes, or is trying to do so. So yeah, that out of the way, let's dig into the real juicy meat of this, well, yeah, part that is drenched in tears. Chise wanted to sleep and then Lennon showed up, the vampire we had many episodes back. And she called out to her to help Joel because he didn't wake up all day. And Chise runs to his home. She uses magic to open the door because it was obviously locked. And then she found Joel, and the vampire was terrified of what is happening and she was afraid. And then Elias showed up as well, and he kind of played the bad guy, telling that it was basically her fault because she's a vampire and the fate of a human is sealed when a vampire is haunting them. So, yeah, Elias being kind of the bad guy in this situation, which wasn't the bad part. This is seriously, it worked really well and it made sense, because he had to point it out. And Chise stopped him, and then Chise went out with Lennon to talk, and there she was talking a bit about him, and that she was saying that she is not in love with him, but the way she was reacting, we all know that this is not the case. And Joel woke up a bit. It was nighttime, and then he saw Elias. Elias used his human face to face him, and then they were talking as well. Joel asked if he is a Grim Reaper, which Elias kind of confirmed that, kinda. And then Joel asked how long or how much time he has left, and apparently it is, well, at best a week. And then we had Joel showing the relieved face, and then we had the topic of being afraid of death, and well, yes, of course he is. Everyone is. But yeah, he said he had a good life. He was married. They he didn't marry his wife out of pure love, because they were introduced by their parents, so it was kind of forced, but he was still very hurt when she passed away, and she left him the garden filled with the roses. And there he met Lennon. He thought it was a summer illusion or something like this, but yeah, he had a good time. So then for his last wish, basically, because he really wants to see her one more time, Chise goes to make something, and Elias tried to stop her, but it didn't work because Chise really, really wants to do it. But here's the deal. It's kind of a taboo, because it is something that shouldn't be made by a human. Because with the thing, with the fairy ointment, you can see fairies. And fairies apparently hate to be seen. So yeah, and Chise was doing it. She was afraid of it being a failure by the end of it, because she had to hold a jug or a container and for a couple of days, and she can't fall asleep. But in the end she fell asleep. She was afraid, but apparently it still worked. And then we had the scene with Joel and Lennon talking. And in the end he really knew who she was, the lover of poets. And then he was talking that he had a good time and that he is giving her his life. It's an old life, but he gives it to her, and he doesn't know what awaits him when he dies, but maybe he will get to see his wife again, and maybe he will come back to Lennon's side as well. So yeah, basically for him it was, as long as there is someone waiting, he isn't that much afraid. So yeah, and then I saw Lennon crying and she couldn't even reply to him. And then we saw him basically turning into like dust, and then disappearing, just leaving his clothes behind. This was really sad, and then we saw Chise and Elias walking home, and Chise was, well, crying as well. And she apologized that she couldn't be a teacher. Yeah. But seeing this, seeing Chise reacting to Joel's death and to Lennon's emotions, it really reminds me of a certain other anime, which was a romance show. It was EF, the Tales of Memories and Tales of Melodies. Great show, by the way. And we had characters who were witnessing the events for other people, and yeah, by the end these two, they get to see each other one last time, and that was, well, it was really hard on the emotion. So it really reminded me of this in this episode, seeing each other one last time, or at least Joel seeing Lennon one last time and then passing on. And yeah, although the show ended on another cliffhanger, we had Oberon showing up, and then Chise reacted with kind of vomiting blood. which is basically the reaction to breaking the taboo, because, like already said, the fairy ointment shouldn't be made by humans. So yeah, we will see what we will get next week. So yeah, and I wonder if this matter of this cliffhanger will be solved as quickly as last week's cliffhanger with this episode. So well, we'll see. But all in all, it's a fantastic episode, and the dealing with the emotions, it was spot on, it was phenomenal, and I would really wish we would get more shows who are doing such a great job with dealing with emotions and the loss of someone. Man, this is just way too good, really. But yeah, I think I will leave it at this, so as always, thanks for watching, and I hope I will see you guys next time as well. See ya!